are you interested? I'm like, hell yeah. This is like the best job I could have imagined. Our creative director would just come into the office and say, hey, I have this crazy idea. Like, what would search look like in 10 years? I actually met him in person for the first time at a Google Creative Lab offsite. So that was like my meeting the hero moment for me back then. And I actually flew to California to interview for an internship position at Facebook.
Evan, I prepared this during the weekend, and one of the first things I noticed is that you actually, worked at Google. So I want to know, how do you end up joining Google, and what kind of stuff were you actually doing there?
Yeah, so before Google was actually my first job out of school. So I went to school, this kind of goes a bit back, right? A lot of people probably know my undergrad degree was in art history. It's not related to computer science. That was one of the trivia questions they asked during the golf.
And I didn't know the answer.
Yeah, but so art turns out art history degree wasn't really helpful at landing a job out of college. So I did a graduate school program in New York at Parsons called Master of Fine Arts in Design and Technology. So that was a hybrid program where we played around with all kind of weird technologies, like open frameworks. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it's a framework that allows you to build these interactive animations, canvas-like stuff, but with C++. And then there was like processing, Arduino. We also learned a bit of like interface design. So it was a mix of all these different things. It was really fun, actually, really, really intense. But at that time, we were asked to build these, we were not really like restricted to, say, use which format for our like actual projects. So I was like, I kind of hate these compiled languages because like with open frameworks, you compile the thing and it only works on your machine, right? And if you like say you compile on Mac and it wouldn't work on someone else's Windows machine, right? And when you try to present, like you actually have to take your own machine there to be able to present your stuff. Yeah. So I was like, it would be so much easier if it's just a web page, right? And around that time, Google started doing a lot of like crazy Chrome experiments, right? That's what made me realize, like you can actually do fancy stuff with JavaScript directly in the browser. So I was like, I want to learn JavaScript. So that's how I taught myself JavaScript. So I started building these Canvas experiments, CSS3 stuff. I actually built this clone of a to-do app called Clear using web technologies.
The Clear app that you do like swipes and things like that?
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. So I cloned the thing interaction only with HTML and CSS and JavaScript. It actually got pretty popular. I think that actually got me in a few like internship offers. And I actually flew to California to interview for an internship position at Facebook, which unfortunately kind of, I don't know if it's good or not, but it didn't work out. So I was like, the interview was like crazy hard. They actually expected a real engineer. And it was like, prototype chain, what is that? So I went back, I was like, hey, actually I realized I don't know that much about JavaScript and engineering in general. So I started to be more serious about that. And eventually, when I was out of school, I actually I built this portfolio site and I just put all my random stuff on there. Also had a GitHub profile, which may or may not helped. But then I got a call from someone one day, and it was like, it's actually a call from a recruiter at Google Creative Labs. And so Google Creative Labs is like this internal creative agency inside Google. It's a mix of multiple different things. They actually run some ad campaigns, right? Mm-hmm. But more of those ad campaigns use more elements of technology. For example, the whole campaign may be actually a website, right, that they built, right? Or it could be some interactive stuff that you put on billboards. I think one of the famous things they did was a fully interactive music video that runs in your browser with Three.js. Miss Dube actually was working for Creative Labs as a contractor as part of the data arts team back then. So we actually also had I actually met him in person for the first time at a Google Creative Lab offsite. So that was like
crazy.
my meeting the hero moment for me back then. Yeah. But yeah, so they called me and they were like, hey, we have this Fiverr program that basically Creative Lab selects 5 new graduates every year. And the team is made up of 5 different roles. They have one copywriter, one graphic designer, one motion designer, one strategist, basically kind of like the project manager, and then a creative technologist. So I was the creative technologist. So they're like, "Are you interested?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" This is like the best job I could have imagined out of school. Yeah. So I just so that's how I joined Google. So interestingly, the work we did, like I said, it was a creative technologist. So the work is a bit more oriented towards just trying weird stuff in the browser. It was mostly internal because like what I spent most of the time did was just building prototypes for these experimental interactions. Like our creative director would just come into the office and say, "Hey, I have this crazy idea. Like, what would search look like in 10 years?" Then we were just like, "Yeah, let's try this, let's try that," and we need to build it really fast. But luckily, everything only needs to run in Chrome. Actually, only run in Chrome Canary. So like we can use all the new experimental APIs. That's like doesn't work in IE at all. We're like, we don't care.